What's going on, everybody? Another episode of Windy City Sneaker Council. We're in a different jungle here today. We are here at Stratford Square Mall in Carroll Stream at the Hype Market for all things hype, hosted by the one and only Hype Panda.
Hi, everybody.
Dennis, you want to tell us a little bit about what's going on here today?
All right. So today is the first time we're doing kind of like a hype event over at the Stratford Square Mall. It's like a sneaker con, kind of like Complex Con. We've got a lot of really cool stuff, a bunch of sneaker vendors, everything from new clothing lines to your Supreme, your V.A.B. It's a great way to kind of introduce some people that don't know about the hype, or heard about the hype, to the actual market, and it's just a fun place to be at. We're at a mall.
Yeah, man, we're like right in the middle of things. Yeah. There are people walking around like, what in the hell is going on here? But it's cool. I like it. I like the vibe.
It's
I like
a celebration of hype.
And in celebration of the hype market, we got the one and only V.A.B here today with us, gracing us with his presence and the dope shoes in the front that just happen to go with this dope hat. So V.A.B, thank you so much for coming on and being a part of the show. I really appreciate it. I've always wanted to know, what does V.A.B stand for? V.A.B. What the hell is V.A.B? What is that?
Believe it or not, it's a lot simpler than people think. It's actually just my initial.
There you go. All right. So just all right. Well, I thought it was maybe like some
heavy,
heavy,
but that's like
spiritual V.A.B. Visualize art beyond or some shit like that. I don't know. Anyways, all right.
Honestly, I really just couldn't think of a name when I first started doing customs. So that was honestly like the first thing that came to mind.
I mean, it works. It definitely. I mean, V.A.B. Everybody knows you by V.A.B, right?
Yeah, it's too late.
Or at least anybody in this game kind of knows it.
Your mom calls you V.A.B, right?
No. Maybe jokingly, but
V.A.B.
Well, she actually is the reason why it's V.A.B. When I first started, I wanted people to just say V.A.B. Actually, like break it down each letter. But she would say V.A.B, and I guess I kind of just learned to like it when she would say it. So that's why it's V.A.B now versus V.A.B or V.A.B.
So your Instagram is V.A.B. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That
makes sense.
We'll repeat that at the end, so you know where to find this guy. So you said you were trying to think of names. Were there any other names that you were thinking of that were like just completely out there, like
Air Kenny or?
Nah, because when I first started, I was in high school. Well, I was just getting out of high school, but I first started working on customs while I was a senior in high school. It's actually a funny story now as to how I got into customs, but back then it wasn't so funny. So when I first got started, I got scammed by another custom artist. At the time, he had a website. He got Instagram wasn't out yet, so he had a website. He had a YouTube. He had videos.
you have MySpace?
He probably did.
Wow, that's a throwback. All right.
But he was legit. He made like Bordeaux sixes. He made Air sixes. He made some really, really good shoes. And I sent him my shoes. It was like $500 worth of shoes. This was my junior year at the time. And long story short, he was in New Jersey. I ended up in the scam. I stopped hearing from him at all. It's like he fell off the face of the earth. But if you fast forward to my senior year, I still had so many ideas I wanted to come out with. Started working on it on my own.
Nice.
But name-wise, like I said, when I first started, it was more so out of a need versus me trying to push my work. So because it came from me just wanting to do work on my own shoes, I really didn't have names in mind. I was just trying to create the projects that he scammed me on.
Now, when you were a kid, were you like artistic? Like you love art class? Did you always do artistic type of things?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
So I never really took art classes outside of what was in high school or what was in the school, which wasn't really always the greatest program. But art always came easy to me. My dad was an artist too, so a lot of times I would try to redraw some of the stuff he drew. I was always big on Dragon Ball Z, so I tried to recreate that a lot when I was a kid. But most of my time was playing sports. Like I played basketball, baseball, and football all year round. So I really didn't have too much time to pursue being an artist until college.
Okay.
So did you like start off doing it like for your friends, or did you like just you have some shoes that you just practice on, or like how did you grow to perfect your art?
Ruining at least 20 pairs of my own shoes.
Okay.
What was the first idea?
Yeah, what was your first idea?
So the first idea still, believe it or not, hasn't been made yet. Yeah, so the first idea, it was a pair of Jedi SBs that came out a long time ago. And I really, really wanted to turn that into a Jordan 6. And that was the shoe that I sent in to the guy to have him change, but it never happened.
Okay.
So it's a shoe that I'm still probably gonna get back to at some point. But that was the very first idea of a shoe I wanted to do. And then if something else that has become a custom now was like an aqua Jordan 6. And I've seen that on customs a lot now. But I was trying to do this in 2011.
The aqua colorway, that's a really great colorway. I love that one. Aqua 8s are like one of my favorite pairs of shoes.
That's my favorite.
But it's maybe you should go a little bit into what it means to customize a shoe, because a lot of people just think you're just taking some paint, by going to the store, buying some paint. But from the little I picked up along the way, I know it matters about the paint colors, it matters about the materials, it matters, what materials you're painting on, the canvas you're using. And so it's not as simple as what someone who just, he's an artist, he knows how to draw. It's more than that. It's actually knowing the materials. And how did you learn those? With a trial and error, like you said, with the 20 pairs?
Yeah, so honestly, everything that I do and know now is trial and error.
Yeah.
Another thing that I want to add when I first started, there weren't as many, not even as many, there weren't any YouTube videos from other customizers kind of telling you how to do it or what to use. So I literally had to go through several different paint brands, work on different materials and mess them up and see what works. I remember when I was a freshman in college, there was a pair of 5s that I had. And every day I went to class, I would customize them differently. So I think one day I customized them like a Detroit Pistol, and they cracked them, so I had to redo it again. Then I made it a cement 5, it cracked them, so I had to redo it again. Then I did like a red, gold, and black 5, cracked on me, so I had to redo it again. But I was learning using different paints each time, and I was painting on suede, learning that you really can't do that. And at the time I didn't know that. So really just trial and error is how I learned everything.
Okay.
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna ask. So you start off. You're a fan of Dragon Ball Z. How has your style evolved? Like from when you first started off to now. Like how would you describe that evolution?
I feel like now, purely because my skill set has raised, I can do the type of work that I wanted to do. When I first started, especially since painting was unfamiliar to me. So like when I first started doing customs, I had never painted anything. We didn't paint in school like that other than watercolors. So painting in general was a new thing to me. So I really wasn't comfortable doing stuff like this where I'm like doing hand painting, character work and stuff like that. But now that I know what materials I'm working with, I know how to use everything the way I want it to be used. I feel like my style now is more so doing a lot more illustrations versus before I did purely just like nice gradients and bright colors and stuff like that. I still use those bright colors in a lot of my work now, but the projects that stick out to me more so in my recent times are the ones where I get to do some type of illustration, because that's what inspired me when I first started.
Now, how long would a pair like that take you, start to finish?
Okay, we can work with this pair in here. This pair probably took me. This pair I kind of cheated on. This pair I cheated on because the shoe was already green. It was a green patent leather Air Force One, so I didn't have to base the shoe.
But you were being smart.
Yeah, that is smart.
True. That's being strategic.
Yeah.
So this pair probably took me around 10 hours, maybe. Probably. So 5 hours of shoes. And a lot of times I will break it up. Like I'll do the background artwork first on both pairs, and then I'll do the actual character artwork on one shoe. And then the next day I'll come in and do the character artwork on the other shoe. But these probably took me about 10 hours.
And you had to learn not just painting and character work, you had to learn, that's airbrush.
Yeah.
Like that's some pretty detailed airbrush technique in there.
Well, yeah, and I hadn't airbrush either. Like I said.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's another technique that you gotta learn. It's not just a paintbrush and dip it in paint. No, that's way more. And then it's just the vision for it too. Just to put that onto a sneaker is just.
Are you ever taking apart shoes? to complete your work
Like
on
freehand
on
profit
a piece.
style type of thing?
You know, like I've seen people sometimes take apart, like they want to do a new midsole.
Oh, like deconstruct.
Deconstruct. That seems like it could be messy.
I do, but I don't. So I don't take off midsoles.
Okay.
But probably the most recent project I had that was deconstruction was I did a Chuck, high top Chuck Taylor.
Yeah.
I took the swoosh off some Air Force Ones and
Okay.
I put the swoosh on the Chuck Taylor.
Nice.
Okay.
Because I've seen people paint it, but I felt it looked better if I actually had a
Actually
real
had it,
swoosh.
yes.
Yeah, on the shoe.
That's cool.
That's next level.
Yeah,
It's a real next level.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
No, it's
No,
true,
it-
though.
that-
I
that's
mean,
awesome.
You see a lot of customizers
And
do stuff.
Converse is owned by Nike, so
It makes sense.
Yeah, it made a lot of
Now you should do something really crazy and do like a pair of Reeboks with Nike swooshes.
I've seen people do that.
I know.
know.
I don't know how to feel about that.
what was that?
It's like taking a BMW and throwing a Honda Sim on the back,
Oh,
or reverse. Actually,
yeah,
either way.
yeah, they do some crazy shit with cars.
You know, some of the things that we're doing, I mean, this is your craft, and I know you do other things, but you're trying to always look at the market, see where the market's going, see what, so that you can, make something. I mean, it'd be all nice, it'd be nice if we could all just do whatever we wanted and had no value. If I love collecting things. If I collect paper clips, if they had a value, I would do that. But unless you're Virgil, paper clips aren't going to be worth that much. So, so my point is, some things, some trends I've been seeing, and some, and I don't know if customizer is the right word for those people, but you'll see them taking a high-end brand like Goyard or LV, and then they'll add that to a shoe. There's no Goyard shoes, but they will make it. Vandy, and there are people out there. I was just wondering what your thoughts on. We all have personal feelings on other.
Here we go. Yes, I'm excited to hear what you got to say. Yeah.
I know a lot of other artists are gonna hate me, but I don't despise it, but I really dislike it because it lacks creativity.
Right.
I try to stray away from projects where I'm putting like Louis Vuitton or Supreme and stuff like that on shoes. Granted, I'm a hypocrite because I do have a Jordan 4 that I'm making Louis Vuitton and Supreme on right now. But as a whole, I really feel like it lacks a lot of creativity, and the whole thing that makes us customizers stand out, or artists in general stand out, is your creative integrity. Like what you bring to the table that's different than the next person. And if all I'm doing is putting something that somebody else created on a shoe that I didn't even create, where's the creativity? Granted, there are some situations where people will use those very creatively.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that looks really good.
Yeah.
But as a whole, on a broad spectrum,
Right.
I don't really like it.
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
Some of the stuff looks pretty clean, I'm not gonna lie, but I totally get where you're coming from. A creative mind, looking at that product that you're putting out, and it's not even really yours. It's a recycling of somebody else's idea onto something on another medium that's.
Well, it's like a cover band, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it's like.
It's just
Right, you're right.
You don't
You're-
necessarily. You like hearing Metallica or Led Zeppelin played, whoever plays it.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's people that typically are artists and are going to, looking to, long term, looking to, they have a craft, that they want to refine and change over time and evolve over time.
I mean, I feel like if anything, and this is, I guess, the biggest challenge is taking that and really trying to be creative and different about it. Instead of just throwing the logo on, how can I take this brand and this brand, put them together as like a collaboration? I think in a sneaky way, the hope is that one of those brands says, hey, artists, that's a great idea. We should produce it. But that's a lot. I mean, you're talking a small percentage. But I mean, on a positive end, it's almost like when some artists are trying to push it. But I get what you're saying, though. It's like, oh, we took the swoosh and we put the LV all over.
Yeah, that's what I'm
okay. Like,
Yeah.
got stencils for that. We just run that. It's not that big of a. I mean, it's not a stretch as far as the creativity.
Yeah.
So speaking of uninspiring artists, are there any like there's a lot of really great customizers out there, and you're in like great company with a lot of great customizers. Are there people that you find inspiration from And who are those people?
Do you want me to limit it just to customizers?
No, wherever your inspiration comes from, I would love to know what that is.
Okay, so actually I have a lot of different sources of inspiration. I actually try to pull from everything I experience every day. I know a lot of artists will tell you something along the lines of that. I will start with customizers though, probably some of my biggest influences, and I've met most of these people. Still my favorite customizer is Mosh.
Yeah.
He was probably the biggest when I first started. To me, he's still the biggest in terms of the custom platform. Really down to earth guy. Whenever I do reach out to him, he's helpful if I ask him questions and everything like that. His work to me is still the best. It's clean. It's executed in a way where the ideas really make sense. Especially when it's an off the wall idea, I feel like he does a really good job tying in stuff that you think wouldn't make sense and making it look really good on the shoe, because that's probably one of the hardest things. It's one thing to put really good artwork on the shoe, but to make it look wearable and make it look attractive being wearable is a whole nother monster. I feel like he does that really well. I try to do the same. Another newer artist, well, I'll say newer because his fame is newer, is Serato. He's another artist who does a lot of work. Really good guy too. I feel like a lot of the projects he does do a lot of like graphic design and stuff like that too, but he does it in a creative way. But he also does a lot of illustrations too. Anytime I see an artist do that, it really sticks with me. Outside of custom shoes, I'd probably say Hebrew Brantley. I went to a show when he had one 2 years ago in Elmhurst. That was my first time meeting him. But
At the museum?
Oh yeah. Did you go?
I meant to go. I watched it from afar.
Well, I took my fiance.
I know. I saw it was a really good show. Yeah, you know, as far as the exhibit of all the different works. I had a couple of flyboys that I sat with by myself in the studio and watched from afar as everyone showed pictures of the show.
It was a nice show. Really good.
Oh yeah.
Hebrew. Because I'm from Chicago, Kanye West, obviously. I don't agree with everything he says, but I get a lot of inspiration from him, whether it's the way he dresses or the shoes he designs. A lot of times, you can see his inspiration in the customs that we do. So like when people used to do all red shoes, that was Red October.
Yeah.
So I mean, you see those type of inspirations just like Travis Scott now. You'll see people flipping the Nike sign because of Travis. So I mean, I'll pull inspiration from those guys, but I still don't want to copy directly. So if I was to pull inspiration from the Travis Scott, if I'm gonna flip the swoosh, I'll flip the swoosh, but now I'll paint the swoosh the way I paint my swooshes. So the way I paint my swooshes with my style is more of a torn swoosh, which you might see in a lot of my work. That's the way I kind of like to do it. And then a lot of times I'll do drips too. But drips is kind of becoming a little oversaturated.
I'm seeing a lot of it, but I always think of you when I see those drips.
I'm glad.
And I'm serious. Like I'm like, come on, that's best.
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest, it really means a lot to see something I do inspire other people to.
Absolutely.
So I mean,
It's imitation's the sincerest form of flattery sometimes. So, you know, it's
whatever I do, he's always doing it.
Exactly. Like
It's weird. I can't tell you guys apart sometimes.
Yeah, like he got those glasses. I immediately went out and got those glasses. Immediately. Evian. He bought two. I had to buy one. So.
look like some good water.
Yeah, sorry we're a little cheap on our guests. Came and get him water to drink. And we're torturing him.
There's a water fountain that way.
Yeah, we got a food court right next to us. So we got the smells of all the food. Are there any other trends? So we talked about some of the different trends out there. I've seen people putting cleats on shoes a lot now. You've obviously in the last few years had the color changing thing going on, which is still going strong. Chi-Town Customs, I know, does big on the color changing.
I actually never had to do it from it.
Yeah. Chi-Town Customs is great. But are there any other trends? Maybe changes in technology or in the materials they use, or anything you're seeing out there that you know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you've seen it. I do want to say this too. Nike is coming out with a shoe that changes colors with the tip.
Oh, like a hyper color.
Yeah, just like
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Air Force One.
Okay.
Okay. Time.
I wonder
But it's like-
what he's thinking
Yeah.
about that.
Clearly, they got the idea from customizing.
Right.
Yeah, oh, for
Absolutely.
sure.
Oh, they get a lot of. I mean, who was it? Jeff Staple that said, customizers are doing more, to kind of progress the design of shoes than the shoe companies themselves. I think it was Jeff Staple who said it. So I agree that there's a lot of things that Nike and Adidas and whatever are taking from customers. No doubt about it. They're sitting back, letting y'all come up with the ideas. Granted on their shoes, and then like taking that and commercializing it.
I mean, the downside of that, of course, is they can make tens of thousands of dollars, and we might make a couple $100.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
They can spend tens of thousands on their research and development
Yeah.
to find the right one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, that's true. That's a great point. But I'm sorry, back to your initial question. And Nike actually does this too now. Hydro dipping.
They hydro
the
dip?
hydro dip.
Yeah. So
That's
there was
another
an
thing I
event-
forgot about.
Yeah, there
That's
was an
pretty
event I saw. I don't think it was here. It might have been overseas. But
Yeah.
it was in a Nike store and they were doing the hydro dip.
I think Jeff Staple was there. He did a hydro dip. I know I saw on Instagram Staple did a hydro dip with a Nike at a Nike event, but I didn't know if that was. I didn't really know who was putting that on. So. Okay, so Nike's doing hydro dipping. Nike's doing the color changing. Okay, all right.
But I mean, as a whole, hydro dipping is a trend that's kind of blowing up right now.
Yeah.
It's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
People used to do it like helmets and bats and just different objects, plastic objects, metal. But now that people know you can do it on shoes, you see it on everything. I mean, I kind of have mixed feelings about that too, because on the one hand, it eliminates the need to actually do this. Essentially, I can print out this image hydro dip wise and dip the shit in water and now have this in 10 seconds. So, I mean, from a mass production level, and I know some custom artists are at that level, and I do some shoes where I do a lot of it would really help. But it takes away the personal side of having something custom made for you.
Right.
And I feel like
With
that's
the hand, with your
something
blood, sweat, and
handmade.
tears,
Yeah.
and
So I mean, that's why I have mixed feelings. I like it because you can produce a lot of work very fast, but I don't like it because it takes away that personal handmade side.
And it's going to essentially be almost like you do one custom by hand, and let's say $5,000 for that pair, and then do basically almost a limited print run with the hydro dip ones. So now you're like doubling and tripling your money on the business end because you got the nice original, the OG pair that was hand done and everything else that was hydro dip. Just kind of throwing that out there.
No, that actually makes
Because in production wise, just like how artists will have their 10 by 10 foot canvas painting for $50,000, they'll do prints for let's say $100, $200 a piece. Do one of them as producers.
I might want to do this.
So, yeah. So that's going to cost you. No, it's. I think there's always ways to work around it. And the mass production part, I get it, especially for something you frequently do. It's always nice to have that option to do that, so customers can get it readily available, and you can do it faster.
Honestly, it does make a lot of sense to do it that way.
But you're right though. I mean, I would actually pay more money for something like that. The exclusivity of having that one of one is the biggest key. Regardless if you got the original and then a bunch of prints, I'd rather have the original as opposed to if I can obtain it. So I think it's definitely neat. It just blows my mind because I've seen wheels.
Oh yeah,
and that's where
the hydro dip,
seen it.
the wheels. Oh my
And
gosh.
then seeing it on sneakers was like, what? So
Yeah. And I see a lot of YouTube videos of kids doing. They set up a plastic bin, water in it, spray paint the top, dip it.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't really turn off that well.
No, I bet
But they try it.
try it,
It's
exactly.
kind of cool.
It's not that hard though, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've tried it, but I don't know. I feel like you just got to do your research the right way. But it's actually not that hard at all. But you make an excellent point. It really does make a lot of sense for a mass production scale, especially for me, because stuff like this other people might want, and I can offer it at a lower cost.
Yeah.
Which will help a lot of people out. Like I could offer this. Right now, I might charge $350 for this.
Yeah.
But I could offer that at $200, which is cheaper than a Jordan. but you're still getting something custom.
Yeah.
And if it's like a run of maybe 10 pairs, you still have something that's pretty.
And it's worth your time too.
Yeah.
It's still worth your time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
Just hand
good
sign
idea.
one, roll up the 10,
I do that now.
just throw it
by
on.
hand.
Just throw it on.
so.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have to pay you for that.
Yeah, right. Let's remember where that came from. So I know you got a lot going on. I don't want to keep you too long, but I did want to ask just one last question before we let you go. Really, a lot of kids out there want to get started in customizing. You know, they don't. You know, what's like, you know, the best tips that you could provide a kid starting out, you know, to be successful in this?
A couple things. I've been asked that question differently under a lot of different circumstances, but my answer I feel like will always be the same. The most important thing is to do your research. So you have to educate yourself before you even start.
Yeah.
There's too much information available to us now for you to say, well, I didn't know, and use that as an excuse. So you have to know what works, what materials it works on. Granted, a lot of it comes from trial and error, but you have to just know what's going to work in terms of materials for one. And then you have to know where you kind of gauge your expectations. You can't expect to do your first project and blow up. And if it doesn't happen that way, you get discouraged and you stop. So along with knowing your research and doing all of that, you actually also have to expect to fail, expect people not to like the work you put out, expect to be your biggest fan at first. You really have to be diligent and kind of just stay focused on whatever it is your goal is in doing whatever you want to do with art. Because I feel like a lot of artists are in it for the wrong reasons now. Since it's so trendy, they try to do it just for money.
Right.
That's the wrong reason to do it. But if you're actually inspired by art, you really are an artist in art, whether you're painting shoes or painting canvases or painting anything, you really just have to stay dedicated to it. Give yourself a goal, not necessarily an end game because I know that can change, but give yourself a goal and stay dedicated to that. As long as you're working, whether you fail 100 times before you succeed, just make sure you give yourself a goal, know your research, and just keep pushing.
You know, those are very good tips, and anyone listening to this should play them over and over again because there's a lot of experience I could tell in that advice you gave. One thing that I always like is to get a little bit of practical advice. For example, just off, you know, what are the best? Where should they go to get the paint? Where should they go to maybe get? Because you could say start with beaters. The beaters are beaten. I don't know if I would start with that. Maybe go to a Nike outlet and get some real cheap but brand new shoes. What are your top 3 or so tips, practical tips that could be helpful to someone starting out?
Okay, from that standpoint, I would say shoe-wise, if you want to just get a shoe that's great to work with, white Air Force One, white Van, white Converse, All-Star.
Okay.
Bam. Paint-wise, the best hand painting brand you can use to hand paint your artwork is Angelus.
What?
Angelus.
Okay.
Which you can find it on angelusdirect.com, or you can actually find it at michaels.com too. They sell it at Michaels.
Yeah, Angelus is making moves.
Oh yeah, big moves.
They're blowing up.
And then if you can't get a hold of Angelus because it's not always available locally, another brand that I use is like my second brand. Well, I have 2 other brands. The best airbrush brand to me is Jacquard.
Okay.
Because it's already airbrush ready. I don't have to break it down and thin it out. But then my best 2-in-1 brand where I can hand paint and airbrush is Createx. I use more Createx than anything, so if they want to sponsor me, that would be beautiful.
That's so.
But you can find it at Hobby Lobby. And it's roughly around the same price. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
I go to Hobby Lobby and get more of my paint than anything.
Really?
Okay.
I pretty much use
pro-tip.
Createx on all of them.
Those are great tips.
Oh, yeah.
Those are great tips.
Yeah, I mean, it's like just, okay, great. I know, you know,
How long have you been doing this?
yeah.
Since 2000, professionally or in general?
Just in general.
In general, since I got scammed, so my senior year, so we gonna go, I've been at what was it, 2012? So 7 years?
That's 7 years of knowledge right there that it took you to figure out these little tricks, and people are getting that.
No,
benefit.
that's priceless.
Yeah.
I mean, the the deep contextual, like, you know, stay focused and motivated and set goals, but then also, okay, but how do I just get going? And
That's
the
sometimes
paint
a lot of
and the
people-
materials.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's great what
first
you laid
step.
out, because those three pairs of shoes that you just talked about are also different materials. So now you got Chucks with your canvas,
And a little bit of rubber.
and a little bit of rubber, right? You got the Vans, which are slightly different. They get maybe a mixture of leather and just like a cloth. And then you've got your Air Force One, which is a leather.
Now, one of the things to add though, if you are going to paint an Air Force One, a lot of people miss this step. You do have to sand the shoe if you're going to paint the toe box.
Really?
Because it won't
Yeah, I
soak
mean-
in. It won't stick.
It'll stick, but depending on how much paint you plan on putting on there, like if you're doing something really, really light, like this for instance, I still sanded this down, but because this was already green, all I did was really add shading.
Yeah.
But if I was painting this shoe and it was white at first, your best bet is to sand the toe box, because the leather on Air Force Ones a lot of times is very stiff. It's not the best type of leather.
Okay.
So what I've learned in terms of longevity and having your shoes not crack on you, the worse the leather, the more you have to prep it. So you might want to sand
Okay,
it down.
okay.
But if you're working on a shoe like some OG ones that have really, really good leather, you
Yeah.
can put it on the floor. But if they have really, really good leather, like those, then I can just acetone it, which acetone is what you want to use. But still be careful. Angela sells a deglazer, which is a little bit safer, but
I use that.
yeah, better leather, you can just deglaze it or acetone it and go straight in the paint.
Nice. Nice. Well, thank you so much. I learned a lot, man. I really did. And it was great to sit down with you. Appreciate your time. Sincerely do. Before we let you go, just if you want to tell everybody that's going to be watching this, where can they find you? How can they reach out and get in touch with you? You know, on social media, I think that'd be great.
Definitely. If you're not already following me, check me out on Instagram at V.A.B. I also have a website, V.A.B.theartist.com. I also have an Etsy account as well. I think the shop is just V.A.B. Or it might be V.A.B. the Artist. But try both of them, you should just find me. But my contact information is on all of that, my email. You can text me. You can also DM me. I used to hate DMs, but any of those work. But like I say again, one more time, my Instagram is V.A.B. or V.A.B. the Artist.
Awesome.
I appreciate
Thank
you
you
guys
so
for
much.
having me.
Yeah,
too.
appreciate it.
So much.
Thank you.
We'll be back. All right, we're back from having the amazing opportunity to talk to V.A.B. And before we let y'all go today, we wanted to obviously talk about some of the sick shit that's been on this table. And then we're gonna all drink these, like half of these, and then throw them away. Anyways, so Ken, we can always count on you to bring the craziest shit, and we just have to talk about some of this stuff. So why don't you do your show and tell for us?
Break it down.
I think people. I'm not sure when this will actually air, but the figures of speech Virgil exhibit at the MCA started officially June 10th, and it was a exciting time for Chicago. Major events, $2,500 per person dinner. Kanye was in town. Ivan Jasper was in town. Machine Gun Kelly was just at the MCA. There's been a lot of famous people. Takashi Murakami. A lot of famous people have been coming in town for Virgil to show support. And we're very lucky in Chicago to have that here in our backyard. Some of the things you see on the table are related to the MCA exhibit. Most of the things you can purchase at the MCA or perhaps they've sold out. These are really one of the most newest shirts, and they've been selling out. There's only a few sizes left. Here's another shirt that it's one of the new ones this week after the initial day, the artistic rendering. I haven't opened it up yet, but use your imagination to figure out what's there. The figures of speech has a white shirt and this classic green shirt.
That's cool. I like that color.
And what I like about all the shirts, they all have this orange Virgil tag there. That looks good. Makes it you can get a good value, something to remember this event. It's we were very lucky to have it here through September, but once it's gone, it's gone. And so I suggest getting over there and checking it out. The bottled water, of course, has Virgil's stamping on it with the quotes "rainbow" inside, and it's a collaboration with Evian. And then the last thing I want to just talk about, and then I'll turn it over to these guys, is the LV. Because Virgil's the executive director there, they did a special thing for him in Chicago. These are the orange shoes, and all the orange LV items are Chicago exclusive. They did a pop-up. It's still there for another few weeks, but they will leave once they're sold out of everything. And the whole building they painted is orange. It's a really well done pop-up store, in my opinion. And on the first day, if you were lucky enough to get a pair of the orange shoes and the sunglasses I'm wearing, these have since sold out. But they still do have other items there. But these are my favorite two things there at the pop-up store.
You're wearing sunglasses? I didn't even notice. Oh, you got. Oh, all right. You got some. Okay. All right.
Very lucky to have this funny guy right here.
Yeah. So you got another pair of those too, right? The white?
I do have the white ones. Yep.
The pop-up is specifically, was it just for the weekend? It was, or the...
It was for a month. They blocked out a month.
Okay, for a whole month. Because I'm imagining that a lot of the stuff would get like sold out within the first week.
Yeah, a lot of stuff, the orange stuff in particular, sold out.
Yeah.
But they have things there for $20,000, a one-of-one robe.
Oh, okay.
And they have mink. They have some mink scarves.
Jeez, wow.
And thousands of dollars. And luckily the glasses were not that much, and the orange shoes were not that much.
Only running like 2.5 mil.
Yeah, I mean they were still expensive, but they weren't multiple thousands.
Yeah.
So.
No, I was about to say, as far as like the gambit of like different types of products they had there, and I was like curious to see how quickly things would sell out, and if it would just almost be like the pop-up shop facade that was like going to visit it was more of like the thing to do because everything was sold out already. I definitely, check out seriously,
Might be at this point.
Yeah.
And what about these hats?
The hats, that's a part of MCA. There's a MCA has two stores. They have the store that covers first and second floor, and they have a special Virgil store that's on the fourth floor, immediately adjacent to his exhibit. The only way you can get to that store is by having a ticket and going to his exhibit. And they actually make the fencing on that fourth floor go so you literally have to go through the exhibit in order to get over to the merch. Now, some people sometimes go underneath the ropes, or like you do, like me, you just walk around the whole exhibit and
check it out,
and then get to the merch. But yeah, those are available. All these hats, and there's a couple of other ones as well.
Cool. Thank you for bringing all this amazing stuff for us to look at and get googly-eyed over. I appreciate it, as always. And so, guys, don't forget, check out Virgil's figure of speech exhibit at MCA, as well as the Louis Vuitton pop-up. It's not here for very long, and like Ken said, when it's gone, it's gone. So try and take advantage of it if you can. I think that about wraps it up for this episode of the Windy City Sneaker Council podcast. Big shout out to 3Pete for holding us down on the video, and thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks again to V.A.B. Don't forget to check him out, V.A.B on Instagram and VABtheartist.com. Have a good one, man. Thank you.
Peace.